Meow, hello, good meowing, good eating, good night. How are everyone? How that's obviously. Hello, again, hello. I have something in my mouth. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope it's not to bother you. I'm trying to recover my throat from singing last night. It's not bad. I just need it. I just need it on there. Also, if you guys noticed, I went back to the regular chat thing. I got really fed. I'm nitpicking. I really care a lot about these emotes because I didn't spend money, so I can't see them. I didn't realize that the true checkbox doesn't do that, so I'm gonna be just referring back to this style until I decide to when I'm able to get a custom made one, so that way I could get the hearts emote react, and as well as my badges to fucking show up properly. And I don't want to badges and my emotes. I want to show properly, and I just want to look at them. It's been on my. Why not? I mean, I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna mute. They're all muted. Both mute me. And if you're wondering who's this person next to me, that's also between me and Kuro. This is Thales. This is Thales' new Fugi. So he's gonna look a bit different today. How you guys doing? Hope you guys doing well. If not, hope it gets better. How wow. I love cough drops. They're like I'm not sure you're supposed to.
Hello.
How wow. I'm live. How wow. I have my cough drop to help with my throat from singing.
I love cough drops.
I know. I feel like an addict.
So I put it on this. Is this all okay?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Okay.
Hello, people from both chats.
It is I.
Santa
The
looks
mod.
a little different lately.
He looks really
I have-
different.
I have difficult.
You get to be adorable now. Now when I
Not
call you,
adorable, but
now when I call you cute, you can't deny it.
I should change my fucking
I will
title
still do
to zombies and third
Oh,
wheels.
your
I'm gonna
cats
do
are
that right now.
muted.
Zombies and third wheels. Let's go.
Human, no. You can hound the attic.
Let's go.
I told you, Yume, you're the cat in the backpack with your sniper. You're fine.
I'm the kind of backpack with a little size of help me. Save me.
Help me. I'm stuck with this couple. Help.
They won't just leave me alone at home alone and watch TV. They had to take me with them. I'm in pain. They forced me to become a third wheel. No!
Well, it's called a spare tire.
I was just screaming.
What?
Spare tire?
In case what breaks?
I don't know.
I don't think I want to be a spare. I don't think I want to be a spare.
Who the hell is she subbing for?
She's happy.
Where's Santa Claus? I changed Santa into cute little woo plushie.
No, this is Santa off Christmas.
This is Santa when he goes out to the grocery store because he doesn't want to be recognized.
Right, and he looks like this young because he wants to look hip in it with the kids.
He wants to be with it.
Hello, everyone.
And if you guys want to choose your characters, I'll just start it.
Hi, Kevin. Hello. Oh, you want me to check? Okay.
I don't know if you wanted to be. I know how much you like to be the Zoe. Bring Santa back? No, Echo. I will not bring
I mostly
Santa
like
back.
Zoe because I like the red jacket. And I guess girl.
They converted Santa into a marketable plushie.
Oh no, he's hot.
Oh,
Why you all looking at him like that? Oh my god. Well, you know what? He gets to be whoever the fuck the game says
Hello,
he can
Echo.
be.
Hello. Hello, Kevin. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Bye. We're gonna shoot the zombies.
If anyone want to join me as a third wheel to be the fourth wheel, that'd be great.
I meant to ask if you or any of them wanted to play, but I passed out when I got home. I didn't plan to go to work at fucking 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I didn't plan to stay up until like 4 in the morning.
You guys are still awake when I was leaving work.
I wasn't trying to. I honestly was planning to go sleep early, but then like midnight was like party animals, like fuck. And then when we get into it, she was laughing so hard. I was dying so
Wait, you
hard.
guys were playing Party Animals? No.
I was molding.
We might be playing party animals this week.
Yeah. Oh my god, you loud ass game.
When?
It's always loud. Tuesday?
Speaking of Echo, he was part of that too.
I say we head there.
Give me my-
Pipe bomb.
my-
That was
I
right
need-
take. Oh, there's so much
I
shit
want-
going on. I'm scared.
There's a samurai sword. I know how much my husband likes to smack things with the melee.
Okay, I'm still here. Wait till I'm like in the fucking closet, then you guys could just leave me and just do whatever you want. I swear I saw something else. Oh, am I blind? I thought I saw something. Maybe not. Oh no, I did. Give me.
Yes, midnight. Why you the samurai sword?
The samurai sword. It's like
How much you love your S word.
I keep thinking it's shit. What am I doing? Wait.
Nature's knife.
Fuck off!
Samurai sword grew in nature.
Fuck off! Oh, you fuck up. This is like a. Why are we in? Is this like not like weed place, right? It's not like. It's not. It's just a random
You
like.
mean a greenhouse?
Maybe.
It's not a weed. They're not growing weed here, Yume.
I don't know. I wasn't
it's a
sure.
nursery.
It's like why we're in here? Why did I come in here?
Yume's like, are they growing?
You know what? You can't blame me. I was watching Breaking Bad. I was trying to finish that shit. Almost there. Almost there.
Okay, so do you remember the campaign that finishes with you guys jumping on a boat?
We're jumping on a boat. Oh, it fell.
Not the one with the burger tank, the other one that finishes in a house that you have to stand
I just remember the boat.
by the beach.
Waiting. That was
Oh, the
swampy
one
area.
that we played last time, and
No, not that one. That's the last one.
Come on, Conway.
Reloading!
But this one is after you are picked up by those guys in the boat. They take away your weapons and they just drop you here.
oh, that seems very not dobby da do.
Something. The real monsters were the people of the way.
Reloading!
Go down there.
How dare. Hi, Conway. Thank you, Conway.
Watching Breaking Bad or like it's non-stop every day. It just makes you think things like, oh my god, this must be weed.
You may instantly think about that weed.
Bag of weed, a bag of weed.
Oh my god, you start singing a bag of weed.
It was, I didn't get up. It was from a Family Guy. I swear to God.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, I did it somehow.
We skipped one week and then play
I mean, granted. Oh no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ouch.
You don't say. Shut up, NPC. Just breathe in like fucking noxious fumes.
Breathe harder.
Breathe harder. Breathe deeper, actually. What the fuck is that zombie? He climbed all the way up to the chimney and jumped just to get near Kuro.
Reloading!
Mew.
Oh, I hate these things.
Secondary gun, anyone?
I have a baton.
Not until it's an AK. Oh, I got another second gun. I need my
Which I
Aka
want
Super.
I want my knife.
My knife.
You're
My
the
knife
kitchen, you think there'd
food.
be-
I need my knife food with my waifu.
Wait, shouldn't darling husband be saying that?
Oh, I'm just saying it out loud. You could take it if you want. But credit me though. Just kidding.
No, I'm fine.
Put the
I'm
credit
fine.
in your profile.
I didn't tell you to play. I just asked for your joy. I know. I'm not blaming you. It's clearly my choice. It was just my decision. I should have controlled myself. But then I started molding, and I really want to win, so I kept playing. What did I say? God. No, shut up. No, God.
Okay, mind the charger.
Where?
Charger.
Woo!
forgot I went backwards.
Okay, who's done?
Ah! Fuck off!
Yeah, guys, did you make it in friends only or private server?
It should be friends only.
Press F1, please.
Forget about me. No.
Watch out!
Oh, yeah. Ow! Fuck. Fuck off.
Reloading.
Is it USB-C charger? No, Frankie. It's the charger that will try to murder me.
Whenever you're ready to jump down.
Weapons over here!
Watch me fall and I break my leg. You screamed and I got scared.
There's a punter.
Oh no, I
Hold
can't
back.
see shit. Ah.
Did you light the punter on fire?
I let everything in that room on fire.
Oh, I didn't mean to whack Francis.
No, go ahead, do it.
I mean,
He probably likes
Francis.
it.
Use it, Josh.
Whoops.
Ah!
Molotovs over here.
I hear a scooter. There's a cat. She lands on her
Ah!
feet. Yeah, Frankie's
Damn it.
right. You'll just land on your feet. You won't break your legs.
Snap in half.
Like a Rice Krispie. Snap, crackle, pop.
Yee. Oh, I heard it. I heard you fucking bitch.
Got a weapon here.
A pipe bomb.
There we go.
Pipe bomb.
Grenade.
So fire.
Fire in the hole!
Charger.
Yeah, no. Uh-huh.
What?
Oh, you didn't trigger the car. Nice.
I knew what I was doing.
I actually just threw and I didn't think about it.
Hunter.
You. Fuck off!
Ooh, I almost hit that car.
I don't think I've ever been in this room. There's nothing.
Nothing.
But disappointment.
Just like my head. Absolutely nothing in there.
How dare? The DVD screen plays, doesn't it?
They don't know that joke.
Save.
Hi, Bacon. Hello,
Yeah.
brother-in-law.
Yeah, okay, we're getting in, Francis.
Outstanding.
Yay! Look at that. Bacon says you look good, honey. Isn't he adorable?
Men don't take compliments from men.
Fucking take it because I said so.
So you only take it from women then?
Wait, what's he taking from a woman? Does it all go back to pegging? I love
Honey, do
you.
you want to be a widow?
A knife!
I'm gonna be spray balled by him later. I know it.
That's okay. He's just gonna.
Oh, look at the
bump,
knife.
You know what?
The knife.
I got a knife.
Oh, why can't you just use two knives?
Why can't I dual wield?
Right? And have one in your mouth. That'll be like, oh.
So there's one health pack. Who should heal?
The one with the least amount of health. So, Thales?
I have 82.
I have 90.
75.
Gil.
Yeah, that's a fucking C. Go get
And
that.
that's not me using the dog term, that's me using the medical term.
The bitch?
No!
Ready?
Oh my god.
What?
You may. Bacon! Oh, baby moon! I wish I could play peekaboo!
Aw, peekaboo, that'd be cute.
You'll never understand how much serotonin playing peekaboo with someone's small child made me
Oh,
feel.
me and Minna will go off about me doing peekaboo with Midori, and it's so
Oh
funny.
my god!
Midori's like in pain.
Dory is just baby, it's fine.
And we're like, me and Minna, peekaboo, and from each side of the fucking screen, peekaboo. Peekaboo. It was great. It's probably, I don't know why we're laughing. It seems like we're drunk. I'm not even drunk. And we
Are we good to go?
I think we are.
Ready for this? Ready for this?
Go, Francis. Go, you sacrificial lamb.
Go be bait.
Go
Be bait. Go be bait. God damn it, fine, Francis. Oh, there's people here.
Why do I always try to sniper everything, even things that are not sniper? Here's a witch, I think.
That is in fact a witch.
Whoa! Oh my god, I thought you were a fucking zombie.
Please don't shoot my husband.
No, do it.
Shut the
One.
fuck up.
One in the head, one in the heart.
No!
No, one in the ball, one in the ball.
But I need those.
The ball?
Well, yes, how do you
Ow!
train children?
You are an idiot.
Dog?
Bill!
What did he say?
Bill was like, you are an idiot. Why are you
Really?
angry?
Bill is very honest. He's not from the glass generation.
Reloading.
Oh, I hear something.
What
Oh
was
no.
that? Oh,
He
where
died?
is she? Oh,
Hell yes.
There is a
no.
chainsaw here.
Oh. Speaking of
Midori's not
Midori.
here.
Reloading.
Meow. Here's a hunter.
Shoot him.
I don't like
Fuck.
There's a
There's a smoker too.
There's a smoker behind, I think. Yeah, no, fuck this. I'm not dealing with you guys.
Always sounds so
Reloading.
I hate the mobs. I hate them so much. They remind me of real people.
Reloading.
What does that make me?
A special monster?
Fuck off!
You are special to me?
エリクリーズから became a member.
Oh no!
Honey!
You okay? I'm okay. You'll be okay.
You
Reloading.
had
Are you
full
okay?
health,
You'll be
honey.
okay.
I had.
Oh my god!
I can't lie.
Had. Past tense.
You're messed up.
Honey.
We gotta get some first aid, 'cause you gotta...
No AK.
Hey, this weapon's over
Gotcha.
here.
Whoa! Got you my weapon either way.
Trying to see if I can catch the smoker.
Yeah, no smoking indoors.
Well, don't even do it outdoors. I don't want that smell in my house.
Right?
Why would the smell stick to your house if they do it outdoors?
It depends on how far
just
they
go with
went.
Ah, stick to the person, okay.
Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
Oh, you made me scared.
Uh-huh.
At the door!
The real jump scare is you guys cry, screaming.
I swear to God.
Francis, Yes, if you do it properly.
To tongue and murder my husband, and I do not stand for this.
Thank you. Because you've been touching me all over. Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, can we skip the part where they told me and just murder me?
Excuse. Why? Why?
But you know, put I could join in 30 minutes-ish. Yeah, I thought you could join.
Why? Why what?
Tell me why.
Why die?
Nothing but a high.
You would leave me alone in this world?
Do you want a bullet, please?
Tell me why.
I guess I cannot do that, huh?
Weapons here.
You may.
Ah!
Do you want a Molotov?
What? I don't have Molotov.
Look out!
Yeah, do you want
That
one?
means you
I could get one. You don't mind.
It is in my possession.
Where are you?
He's over there. That way.
Where? Ah! Fuck.
I'm jumping. Do you see my cigarette?
Bark.
I'll find it.
Time to start some fires.
There we go.
Something. What? Pounding. Someone, calm down.
I'm sorry.
Next. No. Oh. Okay.
Okay. That was like, please start coming. I can't handle this.
Ooh. It's time.
You cannot handle this, but you can handle being set on fire.
Oh, fire. Speaking of fire.
Okay. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and kill her in one shot.
Oh.
If I miss,
Oh my god.
if I miss,
Honey.
shoot the can. Okay. The fire should bring her towards you, and I will have time to finish her off.
Okay.
Hold up. Bitch has got running. No.
No.
Oh, well, that's not good. Oh.
Ah, no,
Oops,
she
I'm
will
sorry.
kill you.
I didn't mean to hit you.
Yeah, no, sorry, poor timing.
I can
Fucked up real bad there. Sorry.
I'm all right.
So.
Heal, Cora, heal.
Thanks, man. No problem.
We'll be fine.
I can't really save them when they're in the fire. Oh, okay.
Someone needs
Sure
to start
you
the
can.
crane.
Good thinking.
Do you want? You
Cora,
guys want?
heal
Okay.
yourself.
What?
Heal yourself.
That was. I could heal you.
I got a good feeling about this.
I'm fine.
You're
Heal.
fine. Okay.
I took the pain pills, which according to the American Health Association means that I'm fine.
Reloading. Fire in the hole.
Oh, I think I missed. Damn it. That was
Try
a
to
waste.
clear it up.
It.
I hear the hunter.
On top of me.
Oh no! Fuck! Get off me!
And I'm gone.
No!
And you are gone.
Fuck off! Yeah.
I'm trying.
You may.
I'm trying! Ah! I'm stuck!
No.
Ah, fucking hell. I suck.
This is why I recommend using a melee weapon.
So yeah, if you want to join, take your time.
A hunter must hunt.
Fuck off, you bitch. We're fucking getting ready. God.
Yeah, I was looking at Black Friday sales. Why is Black Friday a thing still? The sales are terrible.
Right? And they're actually not real sales. They're all fake. It's just like they just make everything full price and say, oh, 60% off. It's not really on sale.
So I was
Yeah,
like, oh my
just-
god, maybe I could get a new controller.
I think Cyber
would-
Monday's better. Wait for Cyber Monday. Do that.
I probably will because I'm sitting here like they didn't even advertise PS4 controllers. I'm like, I don't own a PS5. What do I look like, a rich person?
Hi, PS5.
PS4 Chan, you're doing great.
PS4, always holding out for it. Don't worry, we'll never move on. Don't ignore PS5. Don't worry about it.
No one will ever replace you in my heart, PS4 Chan.
PS5. Don't worry about it. I just had to be nice. We gotta be nice. Just gotta be nice.
My siblings bought a PS5 yesterday.
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
So wait,
It's sitting. Yes?
so people still have trouble getting a PS5?
I don't think so. It was off.
Laughs and having 2 PS5s. Zilla, why do you need 2 PS5s?
One for each hand.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Zilla, you're dual wielding like that?
Gretchen, I didn't get
Francis is
mine.
Francis will look at me like it's such disdain.
Roger that, good buddy.
Don't everybody has two PS5s?
What, like you don't have 2 PS5s?
I got for my bathroom.
I won someone I'm taking the longest fucking shit. I can play fucking Final Fantasy 16.
Reloading.
Final Fantasy for this poop. Okay, I'm sorry. There's no zombies here. So, alright.
This is the second stream in a row I've talked about shit. What is happening?
Pee pee poo poo. Pee pee poo pop pee poo pop.
As they approach 1,000 subscribers, this image become more and
Yeah,
more.
this is my dog content. What do you mean? This is what you had asked for. This is what you had wanted.
I still have like 3 months before we become the 1K club, and that's being optimistic.
Killer shot.
I mean, this is not.
Look at that charger. Look at he's doing this painstaking work to come down here.
Did he run into a fence?
Yeah, he did. He just drove up and down and tried to go up to the fence.
The AI leaves a lot to be desired sometimes.
I mean,
Oh my fucking god, doesn't
Yeah,
anyone have a
nothing.
Molotov? Yes.
No.
Don't jump down. Don't cross the fence. Don't cross the fence. Fall back. I will trigger it and fucking die, okay? You guys kill it after that.
I'm already over the fence.
Yeah, I didn't see Curl.
Then,
I
Yumeko,
didn't
step
hear
back, step back.
him.
Don't cross the fence.
Okay.
I have a doodle.
Molotov?
Yeah, I don't know how well I'm gonna do with it though.
Yeah, but with this car we're fucked anyway, so... Okay, let's clean the jockey and the small infected first, and then we got
On
that.
that side.
Nice shot.
Okay, Horde should be coming, I believe.
Yeah.
Try to preserve ammunition. Well, there is ammo as soon as we get across the stairs, but...
What the?
Okay, Kuro, can you get to where I am?
Hold on. I'm being assaulted.
That's illegal.
Watch out!
Well, how else do you eat your rabbit? You eat your rabbit plain and bland?
I mean, you're very tasty by yourself.
Alright, where are you? Oh.
Come on, you're a rabbit, hop.
That's such a stereotype.
Okay, stand here.
Ah!
Crouch.
The fucking
Crouch there.
No,
Hold
that
back, don't cross the fence, don't cross the fence. The fence protects you from the tank.
fucking spitter. God damn it.
Sorry, I can't. I'm trying to snipe with a freaking submachine gun. Sorry.
The fucking spitter went.
Yeah, we're so fucked.
I'm sorry.
Charger behind you, charger behind you.
Ah! I killed it.
In the house.
It should be.
Can't even comes with a knife for easy cutting. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That.
Do you hear the music?
No, but I heard that growl. It was in my ear like some fucking ASMR.
Right.
Okay, guys, let's advance, guys, advance across the fence. Yumi. Come here, come up here. There is shotguns and AKs here.
Wait, should I go up there or past the fence?
Yeah, go past the fence.
So
Okay.
you want me to
There's-
come from the spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, come up. There is AKs and shotguns. We can beat him easier in here.
Weapons over here.
Aka.
Okay, guys, we're gonna do the strategy right this time, okay? Everyone take a corner far away from the other two people. The bot will be stupid, but that cannot be fixed. And I will go bring the tank, okay?
What?
He's so cute.
Okay, I'm gonna go on the bathroom. No, not the bathroom. Fuck.
Can you hear it now?
No, yeah, here.
No. I hear a hunter growling.
Well, his ears
Please
are
be
worked
careful.
way different. It's like fucking Sonic ears. I cannot hear a damn thing.
Sonic ears. I didn't know my husband was a hedgehog. I thought he was a dog. Ah, they're coming through the store.
Nothing yet.
Weapons over here.
Other than zombies. I meant like bats. Sonic ears.
I guess fuck this, we're advancing. It will not show up.
Oh, what was that?
It's just
Actually,
harassing
like
us.
his own party.
It's just harassing us with psychological warfare.
I'm taking this shotgun.
No, I won't.
Emotional damage. Once I got my AK.
Something's beating on the door.
Zombies, regular
That's
zombies.
just my heartbeat. I'm sorry.
Those are irrelevant. The thing is the tank. Which you can also hear, but he doesn't want to show up.
Door. Find tank. Closes door.
Ooh, Molotov. Molotov. My. Ah, wait. That was my danger. Ow. Shit, fuck off.
Help.
Oh, fuck.
You
I went
just
to the
saw
wrong
me
way.
be pounced down in front of you.
Hold on, let me patch you up.
I don't like being able to hear him.
Yeah.
The door banging.
Please tell me he's not in the other side of this wall.
Oh, no.
Oh no, he's right here.
Ah!
We're falling back.
I'm running. I'm doing
Give me Molotov, give me Molotov.
No, I found you for the
You make a Molotov,
Yeah.
Fire in the hole.
Oops. That thing
Give me
bounced. I'm sorry, it bounced.
Wait. Uh-huh. Okay, it's fine if he tanks me, if he attacks me.
What do you mean it's
There we
fine?
go. Because I have pills.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for the Molotov to bounce.
It's fine, it's fine.
I'm grabbing an assault rifle.
But no, you know, Molotov bounce.
We tried reasoning with him. Echo, there's no reasoning with tanks.
Nice throw. I tried! Still that pounding. Fuck.
That's one I owe
I
you.
know.
It's this door.
Is there another one?
Like, I'm
No,
sorry. I'm sorry, guys. We're just being so aggressive.
Oh, okay. Oh, find peace. Be quiet.
I will
We can
not
get
grab a
across on that
sniper this
dumpster.
time. I will be a
Alright
good
then,
girl.
let's do it.
Yep.
Never lasts.
What?
Peace and quiet.
Reloading!
I thought you were gonna say you being a good girl. I was about to say, what the fuck?
Sorry.
Reloading.
I gotta go. Oh, something more up.
No.
Smells like bacon.
Nice, thank you.
That's my husband. Fuck off!
Fuck
Nice
off.
shot, thank you.
Fuck off to the ledge on fire.
Be careful with his charges.
Ah, I see you. I'm sorry.
Got you. He only needs 1 HP to qualify as living. Walk it off.
Wow. That sounded so loving.
Our dumpsters here.
Damn it.
Boomer, boomer,
What the?
boomer. Boomer.
Oh, wait.
There we go.
Shot.
There's a witch too. Oh my god.
I'll take her down. I still have my medkit.
Damn it, this hurts.
This time no fire, you shoot at her. If she takes me down, you shoot at her, not no fires.
But I like starting fires.
But she attacks you, you start the fire. Ah, we go. Got a lot of things split in half by an angry woman.
What's wrong with this flooring? What the fuck?
Upsies.
Yeah, you can't UI because I need to see my emotes. I just spent money on my emotes so I can't see it. I'm gonna pick about it.
What happened to your emotes?
Like the new chat widget. It's nice and all, but it doesn't show the emotes. Ah, Jordan! I got it.
Sadness.
Shut up, Francis.
It's
I'm
all
helping.
right. I got you.
Shut up, Francis.
Boy, we need to find you some first aid. If you go down like this again, that's it for you.
Yeah, that's it for you. I'm not helping you anymore.
Francis is going through his Genji arc. He needs healing.
Come in, your I'll close the door on you. We
That
get
could
in
be the
here!
state. That
in
could be
here.
the state's motto. Shut up, Francis.
What the hell? Ow!
Sorry.
I'm stuck on a television. I'm getting shot.
Oh, health pack. And pill.
Weapons!
I don't know who gets it.
Yeah. Is it worth healing, Francis? I'll give the pills for Francis.
Thank you, Francis. Shut up, but thank you.
Don't die, Francis.
Jockey!
Ouch.
Girl, are you stuck? Oh, okay. Ah, damn it! Fucking hell.
Kura, wanna heal?
Maybe.
I'll take the
Look in
shotgun.
his closet.
Oh, I need to fix my UI. I think I made you guys. I think I made it look something funny a little bit. That was a lot of green on my screen.
Looks like we take the stairs.
There's another one?
Another one?
In the wise words of DJ Khaled, another one?
Oh, do we feel special right now? I know I want to bust the dust.
Why
Maybe we can
even?
ignore her.
Hopefully.
Like my parents ignored me as a child.
Oh, I relate to that.
Jogging. No more jogging. Oh, they're coming from behind.
I like to think I took care of a lot of that.
I like to think I help.
Motherfucker.
Oh, for peace sake.
Okay, guys, lights off. Full mailing.
I can't see.
Fuck, not the witch is in this direction. Pull back, pull back.
Behind you!
For now, focus on protecting you, man. Or try, I guess.
Should I heal?
Yeah.
Hold up, I gotta heal!
Oh my
What's
god.
wrong?
Well, curl.
Something just-
Hurt it.
Oh god, something
Stutter.
fell.
Okay, the
Something
witch
fell in
is.
my hallway. It scared the shit out of me.
Okay, the witch is to the right. Let's go walk through the left. Left side, left side. There's a pipe of bombo.
Right side.
No, 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 just left side.
That's mine.
Grabbing a pipe bomb. That sounds like a witch.
This way, this way. Quickly. I got Francis, let's go.
Yeah,
But-
I'm running low.
Thankfully, you have a melee weapon that you can use in this circumstance, right?
Oh my god, you're so smart.
Sure. Oh,
What happened
Francis.
to Francis?
Smoker got him.
He got tongued to death.
Man's living the dream.
That what a nice way to go.
What a
Enough.
way. What?
I
Oh.
have my doubts. Anyways, let's get out of here quickly.
You know what?
Hi, with these motherfuckers.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that works. Do you hear?
Where is she?
Upstairs, let's go. No.
See shit. What?
You guys hide in the closet together?
No, I didn't know where I'm going. I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait.
No, I was. Shut up, Francis.
Think of it this way. I'm the ghost that haunts this place. You're alone with me regardless.
We are alone with you together.
I'm just haunting the area. I'm just keeping you
I
company.
said you're the cat in my backpack.
Almost at the airport.
Just look at you with your little pistols.
Yeah, I'm
An
gonna go bang
adorable
bang.
cat.
Shoo shoo bang bang.
Bang bang bang.
Oh, Captain Wilson. Well, welcome. Oh,
Really, nothing good around here. My god.
this place is so fucking empty. What the fuck?
Emptier than my cold heart.
Wow.
Ah, fuck, where are you all?
Outside. Yeah, we're here.
Here I am going through like the front door.
No, we have to go for the back door.
I'm
That's
looking
a
for
fun-
a good hit.
That's a fun entrance. That's a fun entrance.
Yeah?
Could I please get more ammo? I want to play with my super. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't
we're
want to say it
almost,
like that.
we're almost to the safe room.
Aw.
Bacon Kakumba.
Kumba. Cocoon.
Advance.
What?
Go back.
Ah!
I physically moved away, but I didn't move in the game.
I was looking to a different direction. And suddenly behind me is a charger. Like, oh my god.
I'm so stupid.
Don't shoot the car.
Shoot.
Don't shoot the car.
Shoot. Okay, you know what? If Sarge is here, he would definitely shoot. I'm just saying.
Safe house.
It's not a safe house.
Yes, but actually no.
Dude, be shot. Shh. You can't boss on me.
It's not.
Get inside.
Really nothing.
Oh my god.
Say, people, get in here. It ain't
That
good.
was funny. Let me physically move, but not actually move.
Look at me go!
Oh my god. Drink my fruit punch.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a little bit. Hold on a sec.
I'll let you out of the backpack. $5. Wait, are you saying you'll send a super for $5 if I throw Boomer Vial on Yume? Don't test me, I will. $5 is $5.
I'm sorry, what did you just say, young lady?
You heard me. Free content. I don't have Boomer Vial though. All I have is a Molotov. And I'm not lighting myself on fire. Oh god, everyone's leaving me. Oh god! I need everyone to stop moaning in my ears, please. I mean, I could throw the Molotov while I'm up here.
You guys ready?
I realized I left myself and I was staring at my own ass. It's great.
Echo! Thank you for this. Thank you guys for stop giving me money.
What happened? Why are you giving her money? What happened? Well, you don't know she deserve it. I just want to know.
Echo wants me to throw Boomer Vile on you, and then Midnight is just saying really sweet things and trying to make me cry on my own stream.
Aw, I know why.
Thank you guys for the super.
Thank you, Papa.
Hey, Papa.
Papa.
I always forget that Canada has its own money.
Oh, I can
What
break
do you
this.
think they use? Actual Monopoly dollars?
US dollars like everybody else?
Do you use US dollars?
Do you set Monopoly hotels?
No. But I am in Europe, not in America.
Angel and Devil on shoulder moment. Bacon doesn't use USDC.
He's lying.
They are very jarring, separate messages. One's like, throw vomit on your friend. The other's like, you're amazing.
You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're the
The
best
duality of
person ever.
chat.
Destroy them.
Destroy your family. Destroy your family.
The problem here is that vomit doesn't stick on survivors. Vomit,
That's
Boomer Bile doesn't stick on other survivors.
so you're telling me is I need to light you all on fire.
I need to fix my chat layer. Fuck.
Whenever you're ready, ladies.
I'm ready.
I got the zoomies, let's go.
You know what's funny? When the bunnies get zoomies, you know what they call them?
What?
Binkies.
What?
They jump up and do like a little backflip, and they call them binkies.
Bunnies are so fucking cute.
Yeah, you are cute.
And no, I'm not.
See? I am not the only one who says that.
Oh, look, you're a gremlin.
Well, yeah, you're a
Shut up,
cutie
bitch.
patootie.
Sounds like a witch.
I'm not cute.
Cutie
You're
patootie.
adorable.
Fucking witch, are you fucking kidding me?
So precious.
You're pocket-sized.
I mean, that's for other enjoyment, yeah?
Reloading.
Oh, I got that!
What happened?
Ah, what the fuck? Fuck off, bitch. Oh, what? Only use US dollars? Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Hi. Did I break my life? Nope.
To be fair though, I've only lived outside the country when I was a little bunny.
Ah!
He's fine.
It's my time to get ground pounded.
Hey, yo.
Oh, fuck.
Honey?
Here with me? Okay, Kuro. The cans. Set the cans on fire. All the zombies are on the cans. Oh, okay, perfect. Now protect Francis who's gonna die. Not get yourselves out of harm's way.
I'm trying! They're all cornered me.
Ah, fuck!
Well,
I suck at jumping. Ah!
good job.
Okay, wait. Okay. Ah, fuck off! I just got here.
Ah! Kool-Aid! Kool-Aid! Drink Kool-Aid!
Ah, help! Help! What the fuck? Alright. Try to help.
Heal. Ah, there we go. Is that really?
Yeet.
Fuck. I'm so fucking retarded. Oh no.
Ha ha ha.
I see I joined it at the best time.
It was surprise. It was the best surprise.
Guys, I'm hiding in the closet.
I'm
Yeah,
taking care
fine,
of it.
Don't worry about it. Just stay
I
Portal,
love you
heal.
no matter what.
Burn, you fucking motherfuckers, burn!
Burn, baby,
guys.
burn.
I like it extra crispy.
There's
Yumeko.
a pizza place by me. By me, I mean like 30 minutes.
You're really excited for that pizza place.
Wow,
Thank
that sounds
goodness
really
I
good.
did. Yeah, huh?
I've got tongue while talking about pizza. I mean, two of my favorite foods.
Okay, I guess I'll write that down.
Reloading.
I thought I told you pizza's like my favorite food.
It is? Ah.
Yumeko, can I borrow your medkit?
Yes. I'll give it to you or just heal you?
Yes, heal me, please.
Come on, man, cover me.
You cannot heal. No, you're killing yourself. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself.
What?
Right
What?
click, right click.
Oh,
Let me
right,
catch
sorry.
you up.
I pressed the wrong button. I got it. I got it now. I got it.
Thank you.
Fuck
Sorry,
you,
sorry.
little bitch. Hi, Sonic.
Okay, guys, if
Sonic.
you come up here, you have new weapons.
But I got my
Hey, there's
AK.
weapons over here.
Assault rifle.
I'll get a shotty.
This takes me back.
What did you just say, Yum?
I have my
No
AK.
pineapple. No pineapple on pizza bacon. That's disgusting.
No, dear, it's so delicious. Okay, fine. More for me then.
I'll give you my pineapples. How about that?
Yeah, I'll eat up your pineapples now.
You want my pineapple?
How
And then
about-
think of the health implications of eating pineapple.
Yeah.
How about
Wait, what?
we get one pizza with pineapple and we order one pizza with pineapple and one pizza without pineapple?
Oh, I accidentally
You know, like
loaded
for
in.
normal people.
Scared the shit out of me.
I threw that in there. How you
Attack
know?
incoming.
Ah!
Open a door.
Oh no, I'm on fire. Okay, that was my fault. That makes sense.
Anywho, what I was talking about, there's a pizza place that I like to go to. And I like getting the wings because they like make them super fucking crispy. They don't
Ooh,
need sauce,
that
they don't
sound
need
good.
nothing.
Ducky.
They are delicious.
Nom,
It's
nom.
expensive as fuck though.
Oh, probably.
Does sound
Sounds
really
about
good.
right.
It's like every time I've gone, I've spent $40. Like
For
pizza and
yourself?
wings.
Just for
Yeah,
self?
for me, just for me.
You buy
Because they
drink?
don't
In 2 items.
They don't sell pizza by the slice. They sell it as like you get a small pizza, which is 4 slices. You get a medium
Yeah.
pizza, which is like I think 6, and then the large is like 8.
Yeah,
Granted,
we
I
sell
get a small
pizzas in
piece.
circles.
They only sell circles, no triangles.
Damn it.
But it's so good.
Hi, sire.
Oh, I ran out of
What's that?
ammo. God damn it.
I'm sorry you're dying.
Weapons over here.
It's okay. That's been my entire life.
I got it. There's a you said
Yeah.
you're out of ammo, Yume?
I'm trying to fit my thick ass into the window.
There it is. Take it. Yume,
What
Go, go,
is
go,
this,
go.
man?
Advance.
did you have a new gun? Did you need more ammo?
Oh, yeah.
Advance it. Oh, there we go.
Ooh,
I'm finally getting a new AK.
Got this. Got this hand, sire.
thank you.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, your hand's so soft.
Weapons over here.
What the hell is happening over here? Excuse
Your husband
me?
has very soft hands.
Those are mine.
Those are mine.
No,
That was
I
a
don't
try.
feel bad that I shot you.
Sorry, when you said it's mine, I could think of like a little bunny get so angry and then pee on the hand, say that's my territory. That's my shit.
Are you saying I'm peeing on my husband?
Okay, imagine a
And
bunny doing it, not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you in your
but that
human
is
form.
not in what's happening.
I don't think
And
that's a thing.
Can you at least say, wow. Can you at least say that she's licking me or something?
How's she gonna mark territory with just licking? It had to be peeing.
I guess I can't believe about that.
He does have a point.
I'm not, and that's why I said peeing, not licking.
Bacon what? Bacon what? Bacon's trying to explain you, darling.
I have talked about Orishan plenty of times.
I don't want to think about you and your pig. I like to live in the ignorant forest.
Whatever
Sorry.
happens in your mind, is
Help! Help! He's trying to ride me to the fire!
Hello,
There's a raid.
zombies.
What do you mean, Frederick? What do you mean there's a raid? You must be really early then.
Word, it's just mod
Oh,
being
we got a
Really?
few more medkits over here.
That's nice.
There's a golf club.
I could use a medkit.
Ooh, laser! Yes, go.
Oh, there's 3 medkits.
Ooh,
Over here, guys.
Molotov.
Bark, bark.
Yeah, I might as well go ahead and get a heal in myself.
You should get it.
There is new bullets in here.
Yeah, I definitely should get it.
Yumi's like, yes, I'm taking it.
I got Mountain Dude.
Ah. I just got my laser sight though.
Me too, I got
Laser sight on a shotgun pickaxe.
Well, this looks dangerous.
You can do it.
Back, back.
We do have a sniper over here.
Help! 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 Help!
Where are you?
I got you, I got you.
Oh, from Little Cat. Oh, thank you, Little Cat.
Little cat.
Oh. Close the door.
Oh, Sikura, she's cool. She's not wrong.
Press X to doubt. We've been talking about poo and pee today. I've
Ooh, and piss. Let's go.
I've become one of those streamers.
A
Yeah,
popular
this is dog content. That's why you guys asked me.
Yeah, this is a horde. Fuck this shit.
Oh, help! Help!
Got you. Alright, well, that was good.
What?
Don't get left behind, Kuro. I got a bat.
Not I love having a cat. Yumi, you have the Molotov.
Yeah, I do.
The doors are all blocked.
Ah! You fucking bitch! You're trying to fight from me!
Get ready.
I got a shotty.
A tank will be coming soon.
Tank would like to know your location.
No.
My guess is that he's above.
Where should I throw it? Where?
This makes me think the tank is operated
Wait
by
till
Google.
we hear the music.
Hold on until you hear it. There we go. Now that's the charger.
Yeah, there's a charger.
I hear him
That's the
though.
tank.
Ah!
There we go. We're back near the end of this alley.
Ah! Fuck it! Oh, get off me!
Stay away from the cars! Stay away from the cars!
It won't let me go! Ah!
Shit.
I died. Thank you forever.
Bye, Yume! Okay.
But it's on fire. I didn't die in vain. Okay, maybe I might if you guys died.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get up Dallas.
Whoa, that was close. I don't even know. Up we go.
Yes.
I do, Doctor.
Thanks, man.
Frederick, it's
It's a present.
I did.
This is really bad.
I
Careful,
really
there's
need to
fire
fix
up
the
ahead.
chat. This is an eyesore. Now, the question is, should I do it now or...
while you're
You know what,
I'm at
Doctor?
bed.
That's very funny. The plan was to change my PFP only for Christmas.
Oh, never mind. I didn't have Sai on
Oh, did
here.
you see that?
Behind
did
us,
you see
behind
that
us.
Sit deny Dallas?
But
The hunter was trying to pounce
I
me.
do
I
everything
just smacked him in
on
the face
here.
at the
Goddamn.
last moment.
Oh, no. I
Jockey!
saw-
Jockey denied. Well, Yume's back.
No, well,
Where is
I,
she?
I'm trying to do
Come out of the
something.
closet.
I'm trying to
Come
do
out of the
something.
closet.
I'm trying to do
Get out of the
something.
closet.
Shut the fuck up. I'm
Yume,
trying to do something.
Yume,
Shut
you
the
need to
fuck
come out
up.
of the closet.
Shut the fuck up.
Yume,
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to do something.
you know what? Here, I'm gonna heal you, Dallas.
Frederick, you can
No, I'm
still
fine. We're almost at the same room.
say, Frederick, you can still draw something if you want. I just wanted to get my husband a present.
I'm gonna heal you from over here.
I'm trying to do something. I feel like you don't I have to have your Fugi up. God.
You have mastered
Oh,
the start
my
of medic
Fugi?
healing, right?
Yes. So that takes time for me to fucking get done. So just wait for a bit.
Oh shit, we actually are leaving you. Oh, well.
Should we go back?
Okay.
A horde will spawn if we don't advance.
Don't worry, I'm her
Oh
mother.
yeah,
I'll go back
she's
to her.
idle. She's idle. She's
Oh, there we go.
It says we work in investing in the hair.
Wait.
Help! 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 Help!
Wait.
Where?
Uh,
What?
My spine.
oh, holy shit.
Piece of shit. There we go.
I got one bullet remaining.
Wait.
Are you gonna put it in my head?
Do you want me to?
You
Should I
yet.
with dignity?
Let's just do that. It looks nice.
I mean, you could spank me real hard with the yaoi paddle.
I don't think
What
our
the actual
husband
hell?
would appreciate. Let's not start a fight between the mods, please.
What the actual hell, woman?
I can't see anything.
That shit hurts too. It is
Oh,
not
no, I
pleasant.
Yeah, it's a wooden stick.
Wooden stick.
Ah! Gosh damn it.
I like how you just came back and made me get through.
I mean, I did ask for it.
I'm going as fast as my little
Or
bunny
let me
legs.
go past.
My bunny legs are going as fast as they can.
Yeah, I'm going.
Got 2 broken legs.
Oh,
Oh, hey,
Weapons
defib.
here.
Wow, honey.
Alright, I'll defibber.
That's what
The
I owe you.
defibber.
Yeah, defib.
Defib. When you need to take more time in the bathroom.
Safe house.
Let me in.
Oh,
Alright, Sire has no form of fire. We are safe.
I got a defib. I can make it work. Wait, why isn't this? Oh, I was about to say. Oh, wait.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh my god, Echo! Oh my god. I have to?
Oh.
Really?
What is Echo trying to get you to do?
Say something nice about Sire.
The impossible challenge for you is to be next to Sire.
I'm the nicest guy she knows.
Yume, there's a new Akka on the table.
Yume, I got your Akka with laser sight. Do you want?
Can I plead the 5th or something?
It's not now.
Yumeko,
Yume's like, I
Do
will
it.
give you a
Do
refund.
it.
Hi, John.
Yumeko, down here on the floor is your Akka with laser sight.
Who's someone who requested it again?
Sire's... Oh, fuck. Sire's good at playing Left 4 Dead. There you go. Ow! Who shot
No,
me?
you gotta do something better than that.
What do you mean? That's not a compliment. Is this something that...
Yeah, but that's so like
Really trashed this place.
it's.
Peel's here.
Say
Thank you,
something
Echo.
nice about
Echo
Saya.
knows what's good.
He's good at gaming.
He's good at
No,
moderating
no.
chat.
Oh, come on. How's that not a compliment? You don't be suck at gaming?
Are you not good at moderating chat?
Right.
Apparently.
Fine, be that way. What do you mean? What do you want me to say?
I was just trying to help, man.
Oh my god. It's dying in the dark. God, freaky lady.
Freaky lady.
He's kind, he's warm, he's gentle, he's sweet, he's thinking about others. Okay, you happy now? God, Jesus. That count?
Oh, there's like a whole
That's
part.
a lot better.
I don't know what
And
counts.
they had a katana.
Midnight! Oh my god, wait! Nani?
What happened?
Ow.
Sorry, I love you. You stood up when I was shooting.
So,
But hey, I love you.
Use the best ghost kitty and can pew pew real good.
that gives me such a PTSD. You cannot
Hey,
imagine.
midnight, who is-
What?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
No, you are fine. I love you, but I showed you is that part.
Look at the way this
my
hunter died.
I will send you the audio. You will have nightmares.
The way
Why
this
do you-
boy died. He just
Honey,
gave
I
up.
already do. Do you want me to sleep even less than I already do?
That's why I'm not sending you the audio.
You value?
Audio.
He's not gonna give me Valium, guys. What am I gonna do?
I want a placebo anyways.
Reloading. Weapons here.
I want to snooper, but it's
Ah!
tight quarters.
I gotta make use of that.
It's okay. Sneak it.
Nice, fucking shit.
I'll be a good one. I don't need
Son of a bitch. No!
your fucking legs, honey.
They're taking you
Ah,
down
for
the
my
stairs.
leg! Why did that? Fuck!
Hey, you may be. Oh my god, you.
Oh my god,
Shut up! Shut up!
Sonny, let's go.
I didn't mean to. I was just trying to help Dallas.
Thank you.
Reloading.
Okay, guys, I'm tanking. No problem.
Honey.
Ow! You make it sound like I want you to die. I mean, I
If
broke my
someone-
legs just to try to save you.
It's fine, guys. I was tanking.
No!
Yeah, like it's in November.
Will you fuck off! Oh my god!
Oh my god. I need to fucking
Yeah,
cover.
you need to clean up. You need to clean up the zombies first.
Yeah, okay. Let's switch this. Fine.
Thank you.
Fuck off, you bitches!
Defend yourself.
I'm
Take
trying.
defend me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and one. There we go. Good.
Oh, now I
Okay,
have to heal.
we all are alive.
Healing, cover me.
Okay, everyone who has a health kit, heal yourselves.
I'm sorry, the ASMR is done for.
Cover me. Healing. Cover me.
What are you gonna do?
Look for healing.
Honey.
Oh yeah, you won't have to eat that day.
Phil's here.
If you could wait for me, that would be cool.
Bill's here.
Oh wait, no, let's pipe off.
We just gotta find the Riverside Vitamin Shoppy.
If you don't advance and, for example, trigger the tank, that would also be cool.
And somehow. There's another katana in here if someone wants it.
There's more, but there's
That'd be
more.
midnight. Oops.
Oh my god, there is no bathroom needles. What the hell? I thought we were in an
I was
airport.
really looking forward to that in my airport experience. Is happening
Sweetheart, there's
inside
no
of
what?
the bathroom.
Bathroom needles.
Fuck you guys. Nope. Denied. Not bouncing on my wife, thank you very much.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I declare that to be illegal, and I will enforce this new law with a shotgun.
Take the heals.
Give those to my husband.
You know?
I had a pipe on. I forgot about it.
I could use some pills.
Can you give my husband 2 Tylenol and tell him to walk it off?
No
Walk it up,
Tylenol, but I
walk it
did
up,
have
walk it
vitamin
up.
gummies, which are just as good.
Oh my god, I love vitamin gummies.
The real American healthcare experience. Alright guys, let's get out of here.
You guys just get your Flintstones vitamins. Call it a
Flintstones
day.
Oh my god, no. Oh. I'm going back.
Where are you?
On the part where you pick up the weapons. I pick up a shotgun that had 2 shots on it.
Oh yeah, that was my old shotgun. I had to replace it for the sniper.
Ah, honey!
I'm going.
I'm coming.
There we go.
Yeah, never
You're
mind.
not
No
my
longer
honey.
coming.
You're not
Sorry.
my honey.
You're not my family.
You're not my husbando. Fuck off. You butt ugly bitch.
I'll never
In
forget
a,
that
li-
experience.
in a life or death situation, take help from anyone. There we go.
Weapons here.
No, we went to a Red Robin. A bunch of my friends and I in
Rabbits.
college.
Yum.
Careful.
I never
And
actually been
they,
there.
we were leaving, so I was walking away with one of my friends, and the other friend, I guess, was just chilling at the table because she turned around to talk to us, and we weren't the
Ah!
ones
I
there.
saw it coming!
And she was like, "You're not my family.
Who are you people?
Who are you people?"
Ow! Fuck off.
Okay,
Ah!
got you.
Alright, I want lower health. I like red. God damn it.
I love being covered in stomach acid.
I was about to say, please,
That's,
Abba,
that's
do that
very,
appropriately.
very specific.
For future reference, this was sarcasm.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm now going to assume you like being covered in different bodily fluids.
I love the goo.
Some I do, some I
Oh,
don't.
got a health kit.
Another one?
Yeah.
You may.
I don't need it. I'm a ghost. I do this all the time. Pain is pretty much my
How you
profession.
doing?
Thanks.
Profession.
being an edgelord.
Yeah, pain's my profession.
Red Robin serves burgers and they give you unlimited fries. You get the sweet potato fries.
Unlimited fries.
Shall we get the move on, ladies and gentlemen?
Red Robin's not the best board gear, but you know.
On my, where are you guys going?
Where
I
are
don't
we
know.
going?
Where
On
are
my
we?
position, please. Ah, whoa.
We're coming.
Oh, woo!
Oh, it was. Just kidding.
Actual dog.
Oh, thanks. Holy shit, did you just toss those at me?
Yes.
Holy
The
shit, I didn't know I
Molotov.
could do
There's a
that.
Molotov.
Hear it. I have.
Wait, how do you
No,
throw
no,
them?
I want the
They're
pipe
right
bomb
there.
move. Pipe bomb instead.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh my god, that's awesome. I didn't. This entire time, I didn't realize that was a thing.
You guys don't want the Molotov? There's one here.
I
Oh, I
have
do like
Molly.
I have one.
I'll take
But
one.
it-
Before you cross,
You know, maybe I shouldn't
Let
let
me-
you have one though.
Yes,
pop
honey.
this asshole's head. Where are
Holding
you?
hands?
How do you
No.
get up there?
I am committing murder. There we go. That's one. There's another asshole who has committed the unforgivable sin of breathing and must die.
I think he exploded in and out of himself.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I
Okay,
have
guys,
my
whenever you're
knife.
ready.
Reloading.
Before Saya loses any more temporary health. Let's go.
You got all the
AK.
I got AK already.
Bullet. If anyone has a pipe bomb,
I got pipe bomb. Hiya!
okay, no, move.
Jockey.
Advance, Yumeko, advance.
I'm trying because it's dropping on my ass.
Okay, run as fast as you can.
Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off!
There we go.
Fuck off!
Alright. Fuck. I got vomited on. Okay.
Backing up.
fuck,
Oh,
I'm getting you up.
Mistake.
I'm running.
I'm on fire!
See it. I see it.
Easy.
Oh, you mean you do care.
I didn't say I didn't care. Oh my god, whatever, fine.
It's kind of awfully hard to get.
Just get in the safe house.
Shut the
You can
fuck
have
up!
You can have your marital discussion later.
I don't have marital discussions! I'm on fire! I do regret telling you there's a fucking Molotov.
Honey.
You thought I wasn't gonna get one in today.
I'm the one who told you what that one is.
Here I was
Yeah.
ready to like not light myself on fire, and Sire's just ready to do it all on his own.
Hey, we're all pretty hot.
Yeah, I prefer not to be like burning hot.
You don't get a choice in the matter.
Clearly not, because we're in a fucking safe room.
It's really hot in here.
It's getting hot in here.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
the
No,
city,
no, I want that one.
the city energy grid tends to go down when like
Maybe
a zombie apocalypse happens and workers don't go to.
Damn, sorry,
Work.
MVP. Whatever. God, just complimenting him.
Wow, this game knew about COVID well before COVID.
What are you talking about? Oh.
Yumi's like, what the fuck are you going on about, Kuro?
Like, what do you mean? You guys show size who's boss. He just threw the fucking Molotov. What was I supposed to do? Not burn to death? I can't. I don't have a bucket of water. Oops.
Honey, are you good? What are you doing, Sire?
I'm figuring it out.
You look like you're having a one-man rave.
This is even funnier when he looks like a Hoshamani.
That's like an attack helicopter.
Does anyone have a
That's
spare
why I have
medkit
a
for...
on it.
I do.
If I spin fast enough, I'll start gaining
You wanna heal
for little old me?
I just as long as I consent to touching and I'm not touching you sexually, I'll just
Let
help
me
you
patch
out.
you up.
That's what nurses
Instantly
do.
showing her your ass. You
Nurses have to ask those kind of things for a patient. Like, it's okay for me to touch you. It was
I'm
if I touch
leaving.
you there.
Goodbye.
You know?
Look.
Oh, I remember
We're
this.
doing
Fucking...
good, Red Ranger. We're fine.
The West has fallen.
Can I run into the plane to die? Is that what, Sire? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm being
Whoa! Can those kill you? Ow!
I don't think you can make it in time to that.
Did you see me? Did you see me? Did you see me?
You got yeeted.
Yes.
Why are you trying to die in a horrific plane accident?
Oh, I remember
Leave
this.
me
So
all alone.
painful.
Honestly, dying in
my
a plane
man.
accident is the dream right there.
What?
Yeah, you will not even feel the pain.
Papa.
Oh, that
I don't
too.
think I've come up with the preferred
not what I
way
was
to
going for.
fucking die.
What?
I
I think fighting,
Oh, yeah,
I think
you're
fighting
right.
to the death would also be pretty pog.
Man, we are fucked too.
Yeah, that's pretty poggers.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
poggers. You okay, Yumi?
Yanni.
Am I not allowed to climb this truck? Am I just that dumb?
It's
The
fine.
answer is
Rabbits are
yes.
not known for climbing. They're known for hopping. And
rabbits
multiplying.
The speed is nothing to write home about, but yeah, they can.
Can I go on this truck instead?
I tried it. There's an invisible wall.
That's
Really?
stupid. I like that shelf. I want
Right?
to sit on it.
Right? Me too.
Honey,
Which
you're
has
so
limit
far
on
away.
it from being attacked by zombies.
I am. I will die.
Please don't.
Hunter.
Protect me.
There we go. You are protected.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Dang. I'll give you an A for effort.
I even want an A for effort.
It's too late. I gave it to you. You denying something your wife has preciously given you?
I know he's back trying to pay
Look
me
at
earlier.
parents. They're like, an A. Why not? A plus 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 plus.
You guys are the only people in the world who do A++.
I see you, bitch.
That's a nice
Did
shot.
you, did you know that in Chile they grade you over 7? Like, and score from 1 to 7?
How does that work?
I have no idea.
Huh.
See? Charger Bro also chose Sudoku.
Esto. Ah!
Ah, Smoker on the other hand.
Let me off the truck!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
There we go.
Where are you coming from?
Ah!
Careful with those cards. Did I just run into that rock?
Of course he went the opposite way, that motherfucker.
Where is he?
There he is.
Oh, there we go.
Well, at least I got him on fire.
Die, you fucker!
Jump to the side. Bro, I'm in 14 HP.
Honey.
Okay, we're halfway through.
Oh, I didn't know that was married. You know.
We are a happily married couple.
Happily married. Ah!
I didn't know you could move those cars with the machine gun.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
You may gotta contain your bloodlust.
You may want to commit more damage.
Oh, no.
Jockey behind us.
Ow! My ass.
Hey, I need that.
There you go! I'm reloading.
got him.
I believe I shall heal.
Probably a good idea.
I want to get more fucking ammo.
If you have a med kit, do it.
I'm going in. I need to be covered.
I'm trying. Yumi, you also should heal.
I don't have a
Actually,
heal.
no.
Ah!
Yeah, Yumi, you hold until we beat the tank, okay? There we go. Boop. Maron, me.
Says you like to be covered in various liquids.
Yeah.
Not in this one, I can promise you that.
You like to be wet.
Not the moisture he's looking for.
God damn it.
Time to go.
Okay, this is the last time, guys. Hold on.
Ah! And I'm running.
Oh, shit. Okay, Sire, there is adrenaline needles by the heels, where the new guns.
Ah, fuck! I'll come back for you, Yumi.
Don't worry about it. Come on, you stop moving, you fucking bitch.
I will. I will get.
Wow, the tank really wants you, Kuro. Oh fuck, no, he wants me now.
Listen,
You asked for
He
it.
turned around.
You asked for it. Oh my god, why is it black? I can't see anything. What the fuck?
You get me up.
I can't. I see anything. Everything's dark.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you up.
No, I tank it up with the face.
Okay, I can't
Okay,
see
quick
anything.
fire.
Everything's black and white. Everything's black actually.
Black?
Yeah, it's just black. It's like as if I'm in a closet. I can't see
Yeah,
anything.
he's dead.
I can't see anything. I can't see shit.
You might need these.
Follow the
I still can't see anything.
sound of my voice.
I can only see your names.
Oh god, Hunter on me.
Oh god. Am I dying? What is this? Is this death? Well,
Yumi,
I can't see anything. I can't move.
Okay, Yume, fall back.
Over here.
Well, it's over here.
I can't see anything. Okay, well.
Sire, I recommend.
Come on.
Sire, there is.
Give us some cover.
I can't see anything. I swear, you look at my screen. It's nothing.
Just follow me. Right. There you go. A little further.
I feel blind.
The tank was coming with us, baby.
Yeah, we haven't.
What is that?
Yeah,
What
we're
the
set,
fuck?
guys. We got all the main characters still, so we Francis Tank.
Blackness, darkness, and my old friend.
Yeah, he's pretty buff. He does a bodybuilding YouTube.
My favorite survivor is Tank.
Tank.
I didn't know I'll be blind the very last few minutes.
Is your stream dark too?
No, it was just a game. It was a game that got
Zero
all
deaths,
black,
baby.
and I could only see names and silhouettes, like of you guys, not even the zombies. I have no clue what's going on, what my surroundings are. I don't even know they're zombies. It's just you guys and the names.
Oh, you were going through the zone treatment.
Sound treatment.
Get in the zone.
Auto zone. Oh god, we were like pre-programmed robots.
Wow, I killed witches? Oh my god. I killed them bitches.
You killing them bitches.
Wow.
My husband just
I'm
fucking flexing on
sorry.
us. Look at
Eh,
that. I helped. I was helpful.
I help it.
Oh, my headshots were terrible this time. Oh my god, my sniping was god awful.
I tanked.
Thanks for using your face. I need that for other things, though.
Hey, I don't need to know.
Wait, let me clean my
The
chair real
26%
quick.
is actually shush.
For
It's not
whatever
the
reason,
numbers,
my
it's the temp.
wife likes to make those kinds of information public domain.
I need to fucking fix this fucking my chat.
As if they wouldn't know I'm a bunny. What do we want to do? What do we
He
want to
was
do?
friendly fire. Yeah, let me go.
Do you want to do the swamps?
I need gushers to make me feel better.
Swamp fever?
Yeah, swamp or hard rain would also be good.
You know what? I want to go back to... Let's go to Gatorland.
Gator lion.
Gatorland.
Yeah, I want to go back home where I belong. Home sweet home.
Gotta get used to my new home.
You can show us the gator swamps.
I'll teach you all about Gatorland.
How about the gators? Now, at the end of the tour, do we get our own, like, bring home your own, like, American alligator at the end of it?
As long as you don't bring home enough Florida man.
I will let you bring home a single gator-based item.
Gator-based item? Can that gator-based item be a gator?
You get a plushie
Yeah.
of it. You get a plushie
Awesome.
of one.
I'll let you take home a whole gator. We'll start you off with
Yeah.
a small one. It'll grow into something much bigger.
Have you heard
See,
of baby gators or crocodiles? They're so cute. They make a cute little noise.
They make the cutest little chirpy noises.
I would...
Cute.
I feel like that would
killed me.
actually be something that would be on the news. Like, there's, like, some person that's doing tours in Florida giving out gators. They get
At the
arrested
end
for
of your
it.
gator tour, you get
It's
one
like-
gator.
And everyone just
You
be
get-
looking
you
at
get-
it. It's like, yeah, that sounds like something that happened in Gatorland.
I'm pretty sure somebody has. Gonna be real. Once you go into like the Everglades, people are fucking crazy because it's all swamp.
There needs to be a section in the newspaper that just says Florida man does.
A man bites a dog to assert dominance.
I'm sure that's happened.
Hold on, you don't do
It
that?
has. That one has.
You guys don't do that?
What was
You
that?
don't want me to bite you, do
Oh,
you?
please don't make me blind for this whole game. I don't want
Yeah,
to be
because
blind
you're
in
a bottom.
land.
Are
Oh,
you
you haven't.
blind still?
Nick, what the hell? You shot the pilot.
It looks like it.
Well, he wasn't doing a very good job.
You wanna
once he
reset?
got zom-
Yeah.
Hold on.
We can
Yeah.
wait.
They're like, why don't you play it when as blind person? No, I don't think. Like, I
Do
really
you want
don't
the
know.
blind man experience?
You could be Daredevil.
You know what's funny? I did do a project where I have to be like I decided to be blind to try to learn how it feels, you know. And my sister was like legit like, no, don't do it. You're an artist. It'd be painful for you. Like, no, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be a struggle to learn, you know, how it feels. You know, be blind, learn a fucking culture or whatever shit.
And the culture.
Yeah,
You
that's
want
what
to
I'm
go through
I
the
don't
mute
know.
experience?
I would rather be deaf.
I think we had the
That'd
mute.
be sad. You could never hear the sound of your loved one ever again.
I mean, I can probably read their lips, but I don't have to listen to all the
Honey,
bullshit.
you act like I was just speaking with no noise coming out, like a busted up fucking squeaky toy. I just didn't try.
Imagine every time you crow's mouth open, you're like, oh, all I can hear is ipapa.
I open my mouth, it lets out one sound, but it's only heard by a singular dog.
You know what's funny? You could say a lot of shit about him with a smiley face.
Smiley. Okay, emojis can come off so fucking aggressive. You know, like, okay, I'm about to boomer myself. You know, like the emojis you can use on Facebook to react to people's things?
Yeah.
The fucking smiley face one, or the laughing one, it's so evil.
I don't remember what it
It's
looks
so
like.
mean. It's like a regular laughing emoji, but for some reason on Facebook, it just looks evil.
Are you good again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out
Okay.
here.
Let's
Can
go.
you see?
Can you see me that clearly now? The way
Do you have eyes?
Yes. Yes. I mean, you don't have to tell me, coach me to get into the gas station.
Grabbing a shot.
Ooh, Molotov, bro.
Honey?
Who?
Oh, that's not my honey.
Who did you solo a charger?
Gotcha. Where you at? Oh, found you.
Knife.
Good night.
Incendiary ammo here.
Hold on.
He had barked for you.
Hunter. No.
Everyone
Not
else
in
is
public.
Bad dog. There we go.
Let's get a little bonfire going.
There's incendiary.
Incinerated.
Heads up.
I'm a reload.
This
Fine.
bitch is on fire.
I'll light things on fire. I love setting fires.
Yeah, we're pyromaniacs. Let's go.
Are we sure this is the best route?
Fire to the rain.
Another.
Stay around.
Those are fresh.
Smack my face.
That's actually very.
I think I like that version.
Do you remember Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
When Raymond literally
Help,
put
help,
the ring
help,
on
help,
fire?
I'm getting licked. Thank you.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Yumeko?
What? Why are you censoring me?
3.
Just because I'm ah!
That's gonna be
Reloading.
Just because
Did I miss something? I don't have a bomb.
Cat.
Oh, you want to explain the house of it. Okay.
There's a vial in here if you want to if you want
And
to
I'm all
bomb.
Violin?
Yeah, there's a
Fuck this
violin.
A violin.
You can play the world's smallest violin.
No, thank you.
I love the violin.
I love the piano.
You.
What?
Zilla! Zilla was like 1, 2, 3, points into Yume's head.
What? Ah!
Zilla,
Yume, you're getting bored.
You don't do a good job of saying that you're not into bored.
You don't want to be called Board Champ, but you know what? Maybe Boardzilla. Board Champ, Boardzilla. You gotta pick one.
Well, if anyone could survive this.
There's a pipe.
Do we have enough fire?
Ooh, I want pipe bomb. Uh-oh.
Bad boy can jump.
God damn.
Fire Yume, there's adrenaline in here.
I'll take a use needle. Where is it?
Why is there so
over the
much?
counter.
Why is there so much bottle
Oh, yeah.
vomit around here?
This
I
really
don't
is
know.
for
They're
it.
throwing up. They're getting nauseous.
Maybe it's their town specialty.
Hey, man, make it walk.
I'm never
I'm
going to
doing
Florida.
I don't know what. I don't know what's going on with the flat screen, but it's gone now. I think the game just couldn't handle it. Was forced to be blind for a bit.
You were doing so good
Oh, it's
that the
horrifying.
game just had to nerf you just a little.
No, nerf me. They're like, you know what? You don't deserve eyes. And they just gouged my eyes out.
There are a lot of pills up here.
Ooh.
A
That's
lot of vitamin
good.
gummies. Like there's
So
3.
you need to
I'm
defend on
backyard.
the.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, I might take one of the pills.
Oh, she's right there.
There we go.
Where?
I will set her on fire, okay?
Run.
Where's she at?
Below
Fire.
you.
Below you.
Oh, I see her. Ah, help!
Yume is getting licked again.
You're not. You didn't run, honey.
Thank you.
Where did you expect me to run?
Because I told you to.
Gotta climb the fence.
I said where?
That way. That way.
Ooh,
The way
empty
we
They
came.
actually have to
There's more
put a
pills
sign
over
up
here,
to stop
and
people from
there's pills in that
swimming
house on the
the
top
park.
floor too.
Oh wait, do I give it to
Danke
you?
schon.
Oh no, wait.
I'm still giving you an A for effort.
I'm not even trying.
Will you stop
I'm
hitting
giving
me?
it to you because I know it makes you angry.
See guys, this is what married life is
Pipe
for.
bomb.
It's pissing your spouse off on purpose.
Oh no, it's not this fucking. Oh, I recognize this. We keep dying at this one. I don't think we'll live.
No, that was just the game mode we were playing.
Are you sure?
Yes, we'll be fine.
All right. I trust you.
That sounds about right.
Shut up!
Oh, joking. That's on me. That's gonna be the death of me.
Please don't die.
Yeah, I'm watching it, Alice.
Reloading!
I killed it.
That hunter noped out of the doorway. When they get like scared and they just leap, In some random direction's always the funniest thing ever. Where's the... No, don't. Oh, wait. No, I thought I saw you. Oh, there you are.
Ah,
God damn it!
Ah, fucking it. Thank God I have some of those.
I have fallen.
I can't get up.
Explosive.
Kill the zombies first. Kill the zombies first.
You may careful, there's a
Thank
jockey
you.
nearby. And a hunter, apparently. Okay, there we go. And there's the fucking jockey. Oh, fuck.
There we go.
Okay.
get on the boat.
Let's get on the damn place.
Don't you dare do what I think you're gonna do.
Oh, Joey. I'm just gonna...
Ranger, why can't I like both?
There we go.
Okay. Good job.
I did it.
Well,
I don't
so
know
Wow,
what
the
you
bang!
did, but you
nice.
did.
You don't have to be like me to see you.
Yeah!
Visit the crazy
There's
militant.
only one of you.
You don't want to be a criminally insane bunny rabbit.
Damn, Coach's head is really reflective.
Unhinged, sussy ghost cat. I'm starting to feel a little sad now.
Use your pills first, please. Well, not now, but when you actually use your pills now.
I feel like if I rubbed
Yes,
Coach's
Dad.
head, I'd see the future.
There's a tank.
Oh, nope.
Right here?
There we go, he's coming. Do you see my bullets over there?
No.
There's a fuck
Shit!
Spinner 2.
Do you see him now?
There's our boy!
Oh no, they're not pills! Fuck. Ah! Damn it.
Got a molly on him.
Boy.
Oh, it's not fine. Oh, it did better. Ah!
Hey, yeah, man, let's...
No, I like
Sure,
being a
man. I
bottom.
do not appreciate
Damn it.
being...
You're getting punched like a fucking hacky sack.
That's how it's gonna be, huh?
Yeah, not by hobby.
Cover me.
Ah!
Come on. Come on, bitch.
Not
I
because
whacked
I
him with my
enjoy
bat.
the taste of stone in my mouth.
There's so many other wonderful things you can put in your mouth.
Walkway. They don't have trial lawyers down here.
Anyone want to pick a way to go?
And a pipe bomb.
Oh, the sound of flies.
Okay, you guys check that road.
We have a Molotov, a fire axe, and a grenade launcher. You know, screw it. I haven't used the grenade launcher in a good long while.
Oh my, some
What?
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
I'm getting
sire. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're sire? And who am I? I guess I'm
sire?
Kuro now. I guess I'm Kuro now.
Honey, Mark.
Yeah, shit.
Honey.
Wow.
Can you see my bullets?
Wow.
Yep, I can see.
I'm coming.
Fuck that jock.
Sorry, I was hoping we could meet in the middle. Did you see that? I blocked his jump right as he was getting onto me.
Oh shit, sorry.
That was neat. Okay, this way, please.
Honey, wait, no, there's a health pack
Hold on,
over
hold on.
here. There's a
Oh.
health pack. Come with me. That's why I was yelling at you.
You heal yourself first.
Well, as soon as you grab it.
I don't like it the fact I'm the only one green.
You gotta be the tank now, Yumi.
No, I'd
Below?
rather not. Not in this game.
Is it
Not in
below?
this game. Not in
But
this
you
game.
gotta
Yes.
face it just as I can tank.
Not in this game. Not. Oh, what was
Hate
that?
it.
Hey, don't get off the walkway, okay?
What's that? Oh, they're Molotov.
Yeah, and we got a
See?
sniper.
Thank
See,
you.
I was doing my
Oh,
job.
see what's that
Okay.
way.
I don't think I'm good with the grenade launcher, so I'm gonna leave it behind.
Grenade
Where are
launcher
you
here.
going?
I guess I will go. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the Molotov instead.
Sorry. I am a loot goblin.
There is a boomer ahead of.
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
I'm up.
Where are you?
No!
Oh,
I'm down.
We got a charger. Reloading.
Just advance, I'll be fine. Give me why are you going back? Okay.
I want the snooper.
Grabbing a pipe bomb.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Suit with
that's
zombie
right.
brains all over it. That one.
Brains come out. Swamp water doesn't. Don't ask me how I know that.
Did you hear Nick's
Yeah,
line?
now I was like,
What?
now I want to know. And he has a point. There's a lot of bodily fluids that do not come out of clothes. That's why I do not wear nice clothes to work.
I'm a reload. All this litter is shameful.
pretty sure Nick was supposed to be like a gangster. Oh, thank you.
Chest paddles here.
Before they.
I hear a jockey.
Something along those lines, yes.
Just stop. Look out.
Owie.
Go with
Charger.
Ah! Oh my god.
I got downed.
You got flung into the stratosphere.
Right?
Gravity.
I'm very aerodynamic.
Mean that much to me.
Come on now, walk that shit off.
First aid here.
Look at this.
Is the game being nice to us?
Yeah, because we suck.
Wow, thank you, honey. That's the nicest thing you've
I
ever
feel
said
so
to me.
good about myself. Thank you. Right during my stream.
That's a lie.
Get your
Hey,
ass
you
in
bitch!
here right now.
Okay, stop shooting. That's right. You can't kill us.
Fucking bitch.
Come on now, get yourself right.
Oh my god.
I don't mind taking the friendly fire.
Yumi is like, I'll take that.
Midnight.
I think of how many times I
taking
got you
watching.
up and saved you this time.
That was okay to shoot me. Or close the door on me.
No, just there's a little. There's no infected around. You would have been fine.
Oh, yum, 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 yum.
Oh, nom, 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 nom.
Yum, 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 yum.
Nom, nom, nom,
Nom,
nom,
nom, nom,
Yum,
nom.
yum, yum, yum,
nom, 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 nom.
yum, 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 yum,
Nom,
yum,
nom,
yum,
nom.
yum, 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 yum,
Does
yum.
I mean, if you insist.
Bug spray.
I like how we're all just joining in on this.
We're not even eating. We're just making the noise.
Well, I'm eating.
If you insist.
I'm a reload.
See, you may have invested in the nom 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 that she started doing it IRL.
I have a defib,
Crazy.
so Down should use it. Yeah.
Yeah. My core memories. I'm glad I can trigger people's like ancient, like primal memories when I make my weird little jokes and references.
Reloading.
Do I make you feel old? Do I remind you how insignificant we all are on this giant speck in the middle of this giant world?
Reload.
The Earth is just a pebble in the universe.
I like watching those videos where people like explain where we are in like the grand scheme of the universe and how tiny we are, and then I have an existential crisis right after.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the best ones.
I love having existential crisis while watching my YouTube videos.
Whenever you remember that the sun is gonna explode in like 13 billion years.
Okay, now
Well,
what the
the
hell?
span
And
is
it's like-
like that.
And it's like we're all doomed.
It's a nice P road.
What am I gonna do in 65 million years? I had plans.
I like when they do memes showing scale between things. And like I see like an image of Texas, and inside Texas they have the entirety of the United States. It's like look how big Texas is.
Just like the founding fathers in Tampa.
Oh,
Ah! Whoa, 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 whoa.
guys came on my face.
Hello? We do not approve of NTR.
I couldn't see.
We do not approve of NTR in this channel.
I know. Yeah, you do. It was like, huh?
Something.
Oh, that's
Sucker.
heart bomb.
He has explosives.
People.
Oh, never mind.
Whoa!
Did she die or did the pipe bomb cut her down?
I killed her.
Sorry. Ah, damn it.
Should have saved the pipe bomb for this.
Okay, time for the axe.
Ah, God,
fire
no, I
in
don't
the
like
hole.
that.
The engine blows. However you say that. Okay, Kuro, do you mind giving your pills to Yumeko?
You may don't move.
Take the peel. Ow.
Should I defib my chest?
Better.
We got an AR. We got a deagle. We got adrenaline. We got a pipe bomb. Another
You're
fire
gonna
axe and a
electrify
sniper.
those. You're gonna electrify those kitties.
Guns here.
Does it even help if you are ready?
Electrify those keys,
This
titties.
shit'll help.
What?
It's like the
Yeah,
most
me-
fucked up
reload.
Dr. Seuss book.
God,
You
rated R
are
version.
not subtle.
Excuse-
My favorite Dr. Seuss book is the one about the electrified cat tits.
Yeah, kitty titties.
I'm a reload.
The itty kitty titties.
Lighten it up.
All titties are good titties. What the?
Secondary explosion. Another fucking witch.
Fuck
I
off.
don't know how to do math. You think I know anything about thermodynamics and explosions?
Reloading.
Oh, I want to climb on that.
The emergency exit is
Yes, the primal human instincts. Climb on things and dig
They
holes.
return to monkey.
Hey, hold on. Let me see if I can snipe her through the window.
Through the
I'm
wall.
curious. When you guys get into the pool, how you guys get into the pool?
I climb in through the
You
steps.
just jump.
Why did you?
Do you just slowly get in, or do you jump
I
in?
was like,
I usually just slowly get in because I need
Yeah, I
to
slowly
activate my
get
body.
Let's go. Go, advance. Advance, I covered the retreat. Advance, I covered the back.
Go where? I don't know where to go. Eh. Oh, there it is. Hey!
Advance,
Fuck
Yumeko.
off! I'm stuck! Okay.
No, we got out of it.
oh, fuck, I got smoke.
I can't move. I literally assaulted on all ends by these tiny cub men.
Because you're a melee weapon that you definitely have.
Help!
I got you. Kuro, your pills.
I
No,
should have
use
played
your
my
pills.
pipe bomb. What the fuck?
Fuck. Kuro, use your pills.
The mud man got me.
Oh no, we're being cloaked.
The shit
Kuro, when
man
your
got
HP
me.
hits 40, take your pills.
I'm on the floor.
Yeah, you were not on the floor instantly.
I'm... Listen, dude.
Shoot at me, shoot at me, shoot at the hunter at me.
Alright, we gotta smoke. Alright.
Whatever.
Damn, Red Ranger using that
Does
there
anyone have any
Riz, let's
bug
go.
spray? You know what you could do? You could try to cover yourself in mud.
That's like the
We got
nicest
commercial
way
on
to
that.
compliment a flat girl.
Better.
Are you shitting me now, mud people?
The mud people.
Saving money on an iron bar?
Oh my god, sire. That sounds like a form of torture.
What did you say?
I said save money on an ironing board.
I mean,
That sounds awful. You're gonna burn her.
I'm a reload.
The zombies?
some-
They're fine.
I don't support domestic abuse here.
Zombies?
You can just put some, like, some foil
Just-
on her. Oh, be fine.
yeah, put the kitchen oven paper on it.
Why are you cooking her?
The zombie? It's fine.
We're talking about the flat-chested girls.
Oh no, you bitch! Don't do that. All fucking boobas
Oh
and
my
cakes are
fucking-
delicious. What are you talking about?
I hate it here.
All the bread, all the cakes.
I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. I wouldn't really do that. But if she wants to save some money, though.
Switch to Geico.
You see, but do they really save a Geico?
They saved my mom a lot of money when she switched.
Oh.
That's true. But then again, car insurance in Gatorland is fucking ridiculous.
Geico?
Yeah, the Geico.
Geico.
Like in GAYCO?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have insurance.
Did it die? He was just hiding.
I was so confused. It just sat there in the dark, in the weeds.
He was just hiding.
Yeah, it's like shit. I fucked up. Just try it again.
I lost him.
If I hold still, then forget about it.
He actually did their vision is based in hook.
Yeah.
Pipe bomb. Throw the pipe bomb.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
Oh, parachute man has
You have a
nothing.
scar? Yeah, a scar.
Yeah, we already loaded him. Why would you parachute into a forest?
Well, if your plane was crashing, I guess.
AK! I missed you. Mwah.
Hello, AK mileage.
For Alf? Where? Why must you come in my face like that?
Ayo.
That's what the zombies do. They
Give me a
just
free
they just
facial.
come without asking.
Not the
Oh,
facial, I want-
nice. There's pills in this toilet.
I'll be a sniper like in the movies.
Makeshift toilet.
They're chocolate
Pipe bomb
flavored.
out.
Reloading.
There is an adrenaline shot in here.
Oh, where?
What? Oh. Should I put myself now?
No. Hold on.
Well,
This is for you.
My EpiPen.
Thanks.
I'm now going to go eat something I'm allergic to on purpose.
No.
Oh,
That's called insurance fraud.
I'm not gonna file. I just wanted to eat. Oh, I just wanted to eat, you know, something I'm allergic to. I don't think I have a food allergy.
That's good.
I think the only time I found out I had an allergy was from the strain of the cold.
That's allergies to the cold.
I got a cold once when I was little, and my mom thought I finally got chicken pox because I was like 7.
Hold on.
Turns out I was allergic to that strain of the cold.
Oh.
So your body is super aggressive against that strain of the cold.
Yes, it literally was like, you die
That'll
now.
hold me.
It was intended to be
I'll
set
kill this
to the
virus.
virus, but he said it through the loudspeakers for everyone.
No,
Oh, motherfucker. Why?
Ready. Must we open the door? This alarm.
Where's
At least we have AKs. Probably on top of us.
Icky basketball.
I got a shotty.
Is it? Okay, you will do.
Get out of the water.
God, I missed him.
Well, he's in water anyway, so it's...
Use the trees as shields against the rock.
I'm like running far, far away.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, those who have medkits heal.
Screw it. Why not? Open the door.
I'll heal the cat.
Hold up. I should probably save this for me.
Oh, there's a needle.
What the hell?
Did the
Yeah, I'm
EpiPen?
gonna use that. I'm gonna use that as soon as we open the door.
Have to open this door.
Okay,
Weapons.
I shall. hold
Cool,
on.
heal.
Okay.
Hey man.
What
Let
is
me know when you're
that
ready.
sound?
What's that?
Get ready.
It's like
I'm opening the door.
Let's go. Okay, Sire, pipe bomb.
Yep, got it.
Everyone, run after Sire.
Oh, fuck, jockey on me.
Okay, Kuro, 5 bomb.
I did heal.
Okay, Kuro, 5 bomb.
Ah!
Okay, now we get out of here.
Medkit.
Sorry, sire.
It's fine.
Oh, sorry.
I got a medkit. I might be going down. Yep, I'm down. Fucking hey.
Oh my god. That sounds like a Pokemon order. Yeah, don't you guys know, like, Ikapa is just me making a Pokemon sound?
Oh my god.
Nice tanking.
Welcome, anytime. I laid here strategically because I knew that hunter was going to pounce on me.
I'm gonna go down. Fuck.
No, you will not.
Oh, help! Help!
You have been out. Oh, move.
Oh, we got 2 medkits in here. 3 medkits.
Hey, wait a second. I gotta heal.
So there's that chainsaw there. I'm gonna use it on that
There's
bridge.
also another mecha here. Stop that bitch.
So where's the witch? I got a chainsaw.
Kuro, you got a med kit. Heal yourself.
Yes, sir.
Kuro, you're stuck.
Oh, I found
So I
it.
said, I'm your Pokemon.
I guess we don't really need to piss off the witch if we.
I mean, a Jackalope has to be a Pokemon.
Why?
How's that
What do you mean, why? Have you seen a normal animal like that?
Hey,
Yes.
Tao, can you cover me?
Maybe. Where are you?
Maybe.
Going to do?
I'm gonna start.
Fire!
Oh, no, so
The
Dumb idiot.
chainsaw does not. The chainsaw does not work against the witch.
Oh.
No shit,
Not
it
on-
doesn't.
Not on this difficulty.
Much obliged. Sure thing. Healing.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Wait a
We
second.
have
Wait a second.
we have learned things.
We.
Pipe bomb out.
It's true.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Honey.
I need to pick up my Russian alcohol.
Hey Alice, that's a
Oh,
bathtub.
now you'll want the Russian
You ever seen
alcohol?
one before?
Vodka?
Yes, my Molotov.
What if I get you a Slavic drink? Would you drink it for me?
I will drink anything for you, hon, even poison. I just don't like drinking. I just don't like drinking in public.
Hey, stop flirting.
Oh my god.
Make me. Thank you for tanking.
You're welcome. I do it deliberately every time. I'm just body blocking
There's a
everyone.
couple bacon. I can get you
Hold on.
some good
Why don't you
Slavic
keep
drink.
going first?
Hold that. Molotov. Thank you. Whoa.
A lot of Slavic drinks use elderberry.
Elderberry.
Yeah, like the elderberry liqueur. It's actually really good.
That sounds like some sort of magic component. Underwater houses.
Where did the mermaid?
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, that's not.
Not in Florida.
What is this Florida you speak of? There is a dirty used needle on this table.
Here, jockey.
Ah, Florida.
I do not know what this Florida is.
Jockey!
Okay, so if you go to the United States of America,
I'm dying. I'm dying. Okay.
sorry, I'm a little bit swarmed.
You didn't want to live anyway.
Does anyone want to know?
Come on.
I mean, you want me to live.
Oh, I don't have more fucking bullets, damn it.
Careful.
Yeah, but there should be guns in that house.
But not AK.
Doing?
She doesn't want to lose her Akka.
Raka super.
There are guns
Omar.
on the table.
Omar.
Take them or leave them, that's your choice.
Guns. Dry land up
There's a
ahead.
lot of defibs over here.
Hey, baby.
There's like
They
two
expect us to
defibs
die.
right next to each other.
The game
But
is
also,
asking, why
there's
don't you want to
VTuber
die?
Yaoi paddle.
I get
No, you.
instant.
You're
I'm putting down
sure
the
you're
fire
gonna
ammo.
die.
Yes.
Oh man.
Brung.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Why are we hopping?
I'm not
Just
sure.
what we do.
Hello.
If you do it,
I don't think you should be the one asking why we're hopping.
if you do it right, it makes you go faster. I
Yeah,
don't do
my
it.
hopping. Neither do I.
Sounds like some baloney.
No, it's a real
Oh
thing.
no, it's actually
Hopping.
a real technique.
Hello.
I have never taken you to the training room, right?
I'm sorry, the what?
The training room.
Stay inside.
Sorry, man, I'm trying to keep up.
I don't think you have, darling. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yaoi paddle. Yes, Red Ranger, the Yaoi paddle.
It's a key. It's a key weapon in this game. The best one.
You must use the Yaoi paddle. How else will you be successful at the game?
And now it comes with spikes.
I thought you were gonna say at the guns.
Oh, it's darkness again.
Hello,
Now, that
darkness,
chainsaw did
my
do a
old
lot of damage.
friend.
You have to catch those Fuyoshis.
Yarson.
God damn it, the swamp
There's so
people is on
many
these.
defibs.
Wait, we lost Dallas.
Oh, I so
Yeah.
wish
Honey.
we were friends with
Maybe
the
he just hasn't
swamp
loaded
people.
in yet, actually. Yeah, there he is.
Sorry, the hamster is running as fast as he can.
Oh, yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Is that Jim B? Is that? Oh my God!
You mean that you want to carry the defibrillator?
They got the good whiskey.
So reminder, if you are in black and white or you have temporary HP and no way to heal, dying and being revived gives you 50 real HP.
So we should die.
Yes.
You should die.
All right.
It's
You
it's
just want to
actually.
leave me.
I mean, I
Dying
knew I'm a
is
ghost.
equal
So
survival.
yeah, just confirm it now. Ghost.
Imagine dying and then going to heaven. And it's like, why did you take your own life? It's like, I thought it would be the MLG strat. I thought it was the ultimate strat.
No, I want
thought
down the
that was
badass.
the strat god.
I was just taking a shortcut, okay?
A shortcut. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on guys, we need to finish this campaign in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta go soon.
But that's oddly specific time.
I am an oddly specific person, and anytime if you think about it, it's actually very specific. Well, for plus, as specific as
We gotta do them
51.
speedrun strats.
Women.
What?
There's peels.
I actually got a bit startled because I just see you like standing there in the corner. I was like, oh god. I was expecting Coach to be there.
Jackalope jump scare.
Let's go.
Hi, Abby.
Ah, share phone. I know.
And her reports that the virus.
Abby as in Avarice or Abby as in Abaddon?
Abby.
Sorry, I guess.
B as in bitch.
There's another witch. And
How am I
got
supposed
chainsaw
to
again.
say which one of them is based on that
That's so
information?
far
honey?
away. Wait up. No.
So you say bitch and I say, oh, it's this person. That's not nice.
Oh god. Oh, that's okay.
Jockey somewhere.
Yeah, but he's ahead of
Right
us.
here.
I'm sure he's behind.
Oh, that's the witch. Oh, fuck.
Where?
He's right next to the
I
fucking
have him. He's behind us.
Help! Help!
Wow, it was
There you go.
The jockey is behind. I have smoked him. There we go.
What are you doing? What are
Can I
you
just-
doing?
Oh, I see.
I pissed the witch off.
Fucking roasted her ass.
That hard like a bitch.
Well, he didn't go down.
I guess you're right.
Throwing a Molotov. Weapons over here.
I want uppy.
Eels.
If this was a game made in 2023, will they substitute the
Weapons here.
pain pills for fentanyl? Like for fentanyl?
No. Maybe the adrenaline.
Watch out!
Wow, I didn't know it go reach up to the boards.
Like I said, we can't pass.
I didn't know it go that far up.
Go on, get inside. Go on, get inside.
Just a firewall.
Firewall.
God damn it, Windows Defender.
Bill's here.
You may.
Ah, I'm dying.
I'm trying, but it's fire. I can't go by.
Why are you standing in the
I don't want to
fire?
be nice and crispy.
Yeah, Dallas just wanted a very quick pan.
There's another adrenaline on the shelf.
I realize I'm alone out here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
why are you
anyone
doing
who
that?
can
I'm
do
not,
that, so
I'm not
let's go.
following you.
You should follow me, you may. I'm
No,
going
I
where you
shouldn't.
need
I
to
don't
go.
want to follow you to my death.
Well, I'm still alive, so.
Not unless you have a Molotov on you. I'm not gonna stay nearby.
Charger.
But I don't have a Molotov on me.
I don't know that. I don't know. I don't want.
You may. There's a HUD that tells you.
Shush! Shut the fuck up! I just realized. Shut up. Ah!
Yeah, you made a 5 IQ streamer.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this must have been the village's suburbs.
Luckily, that fucking dono is not for like the entire stream.
That would have to be
Okay, we need to
Akatsuki.
go to this bridge.
Yeah, that'd be an Akasupa. You can give me an Akasupa that actually could. Bring back home back!
We missed the thingy. No, we can. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it.
We have to finish the game soon.
yeah,
Ah!
Nice. I am satisfied.
Nope. Yeah.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Just advance. Oh no.
No!
Okay, do this tomorrow. Do this tomorrow. We're on tour. I'm trying to cover you with that.
I can't get out. Anything? Help. Help.
Take your pips. Take your pips.
Wait, I got this. Hey, hello. Get. Zombie, go over there. No, it's full
Oh
walk.
god, that.
I'm sorry.
You may remind me never to follow you when you.
Shut up! I just bounced. Shut up. I'm trying to help
Nice,
Kuro.
advance. It's a linear path.
Great. My chainsaw out of juice. We have a
Are you
tank.
fucking kidding me?
A tank?
Yep, that's
You
tank.
know what? I'm running.
Where are we going?
That's probably
Do your best to kill it, guys.
Where?
okay. Let me just go ahead and. Okay.
I'm stuck.
I grabbed the tank's attention.
Do not bring it to me.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to.
I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
No,
die.
don't.
My kids.
No, don't.
Y'all were like,
No! We got together. Sussy Baka to the end.
Sussy Baka, we're down together.
I'll cover you, Thalos. Just run.
Oh, and I got vomited on. Are you kidding me?
Yay.
This is not how a girl wants to go.
Yeah, that tank is following you, Thalos.
Okay, and
Run, honey, just run.
I am already in the safe house.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, damn, we were close.
Oh my god.
My green HP bar.
Oh shit!
What do you want, a fucking cookie?
Can I ask for a sandwich?
No.
Sad.
I'm dead. I can't make you
I'm
one.
trying to make you a dead sandwich.
Hi, Reeb.
Kuro sandwich.
Hey, what? What?
Kuro sandwich.
Are you telling me my husband's gonna eat me?
Some part of me feels like you expected that to begin with.
Oh, I definitely helped that.
Yeah, we were so helpful.
Yeah, I had like 5 HP. When that tank came around the corner, I was like, shit, I'm not making it out.
Woo!
If any of you died with healing items.
I have a defib. Okay, I gotta go.
Take care, you man.
Bye. I'm gonna make a schedule there. Bye.
It wasn't even the tank that got me. Just one random zombie just came over here and smacked my butt cheek, and I went down.